G'day mates, today on Cooking with Abrasive, one of my favourite dishes, Kuala Lumpur style Hokkien Mee. Before we get to that, just got to get this little bizzo out of the way. This Fichet F3D, this annoying loose cam design, you've got to make sure the cam is lined up before you can shove the key in. I said shove the key in, there we go. Now, as is my wont, I tend to pick this thing in hand, which I did initially using this rather oversized tensioner. You'll notice it's quite a bit bigger than the usual tensioners people use. Just a little more ergonomic on the old hands. It's also pretty worn out, which can give me a bit of trouble when you're trying to pull the core back out. Anyway, I used this for some time while I was getting to grips with this lock, and I tensioned it by pulling against my chest, because I just, pick sitting on the couch. And you know what, I ended up with a bruise on my rib cage from the butt of the lock. It took me an embarrassing amount of time to realise that in fact we already have the technology to apply tension to something like this using rubber bands. So there we go. Make sure our cam's lined up before we get started. Hopefully I don't knock that out of place and we can get cracking. Try and find a bit of a comfy position. My arms are a little tired. You can see the big tremor in there. Now, first things first, there's a key check at the back of the lock. I'm going to lift tension a little, and when we get in the right rotation, we'll push. There we go, I can feel him springing. Now, this is a push lock. Tumblers are tensioned essentially by pushing on each other, which happens from the front of the lock. So we expect them to bind sort of from front to back, but the tolerance is quite good. So it's not always clear when a tumbler is binding if you haven't set everything above and below it already. So I'm going to start by turning tumbler 1 until it's firmly in a notch. Now we'll see if tumbler 2 is binding. It's binding a little. We'll send him until he's in a notch too. Tumbler 3. Not binding. So I'm going to guess that tumbler 1 is not in the right notch. I'm going to move him another one. Okay. And then I'm going to move back to tumbler 2. Make sure he's in a notch. Let's go see tumbler 3 again. Tumbler 3 is still not really binding, so back to 2. Move to 1 notch. Feels like it's binding pretty well, so we'll go to 3 again. 3 is still not really binding. Back to 2. Move him a notch. Oh, he's not really binding at all now. Back to 1 it is. Move 1 a notch. Slipping off the tumbler a bit there. There we go. 1 is moved. We'll go to 2. 2's not binding heaps well. We'll have a look at 3 then. Nah, 3's just spinning. Back to 1 again. Move him another notch. 2's barely binding now. Move 1 another notch. Back to 2. 1, 2, 1. Two, 1, 2. I'm not sure why I'm not getting a lot of feedback here. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just check that the key check is still set. I feel like, oh yeah, sure is. Wondering if maybe I dropped it, because if that happens, you certainly lose all the feedback. All right. In that case, I'll just add a little tension to make this a little clearer. Back onto 1. Move him a notch. Oh, that's much better. Onto 2. He's not binding heaps, but I'll try and park him on a notch. 3. Not binding at all. Back to 1. Just going to change my grip so I can unload it a bit better. Just using my forefinger and thumb, my index finger and thumb to unload that so I can turn things without damaging anything. Okay, 1's in a notch, 2's kind of in a notch. 3 is still not binding. Move 2 now. Still not getting heaps of feedback out of 2. I feel like I keep jumping over the true gate in 1, if I can call it that. Obviously that's not how this mechanism works. Okay, we've moved 1. 2 feels pretty solid. 3 is starting to bind properly. Put him in a notch. On we go to 4. Oh, come on. Here we go. 4 is binding. Oh, that's promising. Oops, I think I skipped ahead to 6 there. 6 isn't binding. 5 is a little bit, but not enough. So we'll put that in a notch and go back to 4. If I can get through the keyway. Okay, carefully move him 1 notch. There we go. Back to 5. Oh, 5. Spinning. 4 another notch. And 5 spinning. Move 4. 5 still spinning. Okay, I'll move 4 one more time. But then I think I've got to go back to 3. Okay, that was 4. Yeah, 5's not binding at all. And put 4 in a nice feeling notch. Optimistically try 5. Now we go back to 3. So I'm going to unload to move this. Now to 4 again. 4 feels like it's in something. 5 ain't binding. 4 another notch. 5. 4. 4's binding a lot better now. Now I'm just going to check I've bumped my cam out of alignment. There we go. Just when we get to the end of this phase, we get all 6 tumblers lined up. That needs to be in place for the core to pop into. Back to 4 again. Oh, there we go. Big snap. Bit of core movement, and you can see now the cam is actually coupling to the front of the lock. You can see it turning a little bit there. So now we move on to the second phase. In the first phase, we've effectively set the rotation of all the elements. Now we need to set the translation. So this again is a process of reading the feedback from the front to the back and incrementally kind of moving stuff. Now thus far I've been picking exclusively counterclockwise. That means that anything that needs to move now I should be able to move clockwise. And there's only 3 translational positions, so I shouldn't need to move it more than 2 clicks. Okay, so my number 1 feels pretty tight. I'm going to move him 1 click clockwise. Feels like he's moving now. And number 2, how does he feel? Oh yeah, pretty tight. I'll move him a click clockwise as well. There we go. Feels better. Where are we at with number 3? Trouble keeping on the tumble there. Yeah, he feels tight. Let's move him as well. Okay, did he just move, or am I imagining it? No, I think we're all right. Just going to go back and feel where we're up to. Okay, tumbler 1 moves a little. Tumbler 2 moves a little. 3. Also moves a bit. 4. 4 feels pretty hard. What about 5 though? Oh yeah, 5's positively flying. 6 likewise. That sounds like we've got to move 4. Wish me luck. Oh, I've just got to count my way onto it again. I haven't opened it, have I? No, that would be too nice. Okay. 6, 5, 4. Not really getting anywhere moving 4. Let's read this out again. Just want to be careful not to drop this, because as you've seen, it's such a pain to get through phase 1. 1 kind of moving, 2 kind of moving, 3 kind of moving, 4 is kind of moving. What am I doing wrong? 5 is absolutely slop city. Let me convince myself. Yeah, one's quite mobile. 2 feels alright. Oh, maybe it's 3 that's binding. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll try once more to move him clockwise. I think this is going to be my last attempt for today. Now, I've dropped everything, but I don't know that we made any progress there. One feels moves, two moves, now three moves. Four makes weird clicking. What have I done? Five also makes weird clicking. Oh, and I've got the key check. I'm actually counting. Let's start right from the start. One's loose until I apply heaps of tension. Two is loose even with heaps of tension. Maybe I haven't set one properly. Just going to move him a notch to the right. That should be two notches. He does not want to go. Not my day with this lock, but that's all right. Another check. One is moving all right. Let's make sure I'm actually on one. Yeah, one's moving. Two's moving. Three's moving. Four feels pretty tight. Five's flying. All right, so four seems to be in error. Gonna commit to this one. Felt like it moved. Let's assess again. This tensioner is not actually the right size anymore. It doesn't fit snugly, so you can't really pull the core forward with it properly. I think that's why I'm having such a hard time today. One moves, two moves, three moves, I think four moves. Five still ain't binding though. What am I to take from this? Probably that this is an annoyingly hard lock. this one. Is that binding? I feel like it is. Attempt to move it. Wish me luck. Click. Ah, that was the click we needed. There we go. Rubber bands aside. Our core is now open. Alrighty. Far out, my arms are tired. Right, we'll turn him back. And, oh, finally. What do we do now? I think we put him down and do some cooking. I do feel like that core is binding a little as it turns. I reckon I can do better. We'll put our rubber band back on. Just give him a quick go. I feel like one of the last tumblers is maybe not quite in its gate. Let's see if we can find it. So this turns, it unlocks, but I reckon there's more to do. Try lift, lift, turn. There we go. Now he's completely free. All right. Oof. Let's get to the fun bit. My chair out of the way. Now, our ingredients for today, we start with about 200 grams of fish cake and 3 or so large cloves of garlic. I cut my garlic quite coarse, or rather I slice it. You don't want it too fine, you don't want it minced, you especially don't want it crushed because all the carby bits will stick to your wok. The reason you don't want to cut small is because it will burn before it gets delicious. So a little bit of oil, I'm going to heat up. Now getting to smoke, fish cake, garlic, in we go. Now we're going to run this pretty hot, just to get a bit of char on it. If you're feeling fancy, you can toss it over the fire. Not really my cup of tea. You can also put in maybe half a dozen raw prawns at this stage. This is a little more traditional, but the people in my family aren't huge fans of prawns, so I won't feed them what they don't want to eat. Make up for all the oil we're turning into smoke. Now it's getting a nice char. So next step is the cabbage. I've gone pretty hard actually. This is almost like a full quarter of a wombok because it needs using up. Usually I'd use less, maybe 250 grams cabbage. Again, I'm going to gun it until it's just a little charred. Just getting a little bit of smoky flavour on it. That looks pretty reasonable. You can actually put quite a lot of char on this and have a delicious dish. I don't want to overdo it today though. Now we bung in some Hokkien noodles, about 250 grams. Just put them in some hot water to separate them from the packet. Now we're just going to mix these in. We're not actually doing any more cooking right now. And then let the wok get reasonably hot. And then the next thing up is a bit of dark soy sauce. So I know the soy sauce you have in your house is black, but if you've only got one kind of sauce, you don't have dark soy sauce. It's kind of thick and carby. And we pour this around the side so that it almost caramelizes and browns on the hot metal parts of the wok. So that gives us like another layer of kind of smoky flavor. You can see it's kind of cooking on the outside. When that's a little almost charred, we bung in, we deglaze with just a little bit of chicken stock. This is about 90 mils. Scoop him up, get the noodles all nice and dark. Now, once that's all deglazed, so all the crispy bits are off the pan, the last step is to add, this is a tablespoon of cornflour, cornstarch, and suspended in 2 tablespoons of water. So you do need to stir it right before you use it because it falls out of suspension real easy. It's not actually dissolved in there. It's just tiny particles. So we tip him in. This will thicken up the sauce. The reason you do it with the water is just so you don't get any lumps. Mix him around, get him nicely coated. And then optionally, dry it up so there's just not a little excess runny liquid sauce. That's up to you. And there we go. Dinner is served. And with that, let's get on to this gutting. Not my favourite job, especially this lock. This lock is a beast. So I'm going to need my bench block. I'm going to need an assortment of screwdrivers. And I'm going to need a lot of stubbornness. I haven't gutted this lock in ages either, so this is going to be extra good fun. I actually don't remember how to do it. So let's find out together. A nice piece of paper so you can see all the bits I'm hoiking out. Pull up a chair so I don't drop myself on the floor. I am knackered at this point. Let's get the, there we go. Okay. First things first, we're actually going to pull the cap off the lock. This is what the bench block's for. Cap, screwdriver, violence. Going to move some of these cooking things off the table so they don't make such a racket. Getting there. Okay, he's coming loose now. Okay. So get this little front ring off. And then we can, the core doesn't actually pull out at this point, there's quite a bit more work to do. If you're unable to take the cam off the back, what you do is, this one I grubbed earlier. Oh, I forgot to bring a bowl for screws and bits. Tell you what, here's one of these. What's the least gross? This one. These are probably going to have a wash before I put them back in, just so I don't end up with a garlic clock. That is the wrong screwdriver. Now, I hope this is not tight. I don't remember it being tight. Here we go. Okay, let me drop the little weird endy piece off there. Now, this doesn't come out the back either. Of course, being French, it has to be more complicated than that. There's another retaining pin, which is normally pressed in here. I've grubbed it in this one, so if I screw it in a few turns on both sides, hopefully we will receive a lock core. Here we go. All right, so this little thing is part of the key retention. I'm just gonna put it in there to keep it safe. Here is the core itself. Okay, nothing up my tube. Here are the, oh fuck, I should have got some tweezers. All right, we're gonna do a bit of a dump gut here. There's the sidebar, oh shit, it's falling apart on me, okay. The front where the key goes in, I'm not even gonna give things names at this point, I'm just gonna line up all the bloody parts and you can see them all. The little racks, there are 6 of those on 2 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're falling out of top and bottom. This is really a messy lock to take apart or to put together. Okay, and we'll lift the ones off this side. Oh, I've lost one of the tumblers at the end. That's exciting. That's the one that corresponds to this rack. There we go. Okay, 1. Do these ones the same way, just to pretend like I know what I'm doing. 2. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I thought I'd lost one. I've just miscounted. There we go. 6 and 6. Now, the bits that hold the tumbler, here we go, tumblers and gears. Look at that. It is a gorgeous mechanism. Crazy, mind you, but gorgeous. Okay, gear, gear, tumbler. Tumbler. Gear, gear. Wait, no, one gear. One more gear. Tumbler, gear. Gear. Oh, my arms are so sore right now. 4 tumblers. And here's the 6th. Goodness me. What a mission. Other side of the core. And then here at the back is the key check element. I'm not going to gut this because it has ball bearings in it and it will break. Or rather, not break, I will lose them. I will back off my grub screws a little so it runs again, and I'll cycle it for you. So this won't go down, but if you push it with the key tip, then it will pop in. Snap. Okay. Oh shit. Shot myself in the face with part of the key check. I forgot that other bit comes out as well. It's not just the ball bearings. Okay, that's hilarious. Luckily that fell right into my lap and not down the gaps in the deck boards here. Fuck me. All right, I think we're done. I'm going to bring one of these cameras up for a close-up so you can see all the little tumblers and things. And I'm going to go eat my dinner, what I just cooked. This I can really highly recommend doing this Hokkien Mee. It's always a very popular dish. Both in family members and guests like to ask me to make it. Why am I saying standby? I don't know if it's because I just unplugged the external screens. I can move the camera in for a closer shot. Sorry, I'm probably going to get in the light here. It did just stop recording for a sec. Okay. There we go. 1 F3D.